Hey you, welcome back to another video. We are grinding the videos because there's too much to do. There's too much to talk about, so we're grinding them. Guys, we had an amazing video. The last video on this channel was a Team of the Season prep. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it. There's a lot of really useful information for you guys in that video, just specifically for your knowledge and for your usage and all that. Go watch that video. It should help you a lot. It's the kind of podcast style, so if you're doing something, you guys can put it on and just listen, because you don't really need to look too much. It's a lot of listening. But really good video. I felt really good about it. But today, or tonight, or this afternoon, or this morning, I've got a video for you guys on League One Player of the Year. Now, I wanted to talk about this because they're going to bring the SBC. It's in about 2 weeks from now, so I felt like we should talk about what's going to go on, what's going down with it, how it's going to work. Now, League One Player of the Year, I'm going to warn you guys really quickly before we talk anything about this video. It is very biased, that league, and I don't know how to explain it, but last year, like, Neymar won Player of the Year, and, like, he didn't have the best statistics by, like, a few players, like, had better, I think Tovin had better statistics, Cavani, and I don't know, there was maybe a third. So he won at Neymar, he won the Player of the Year, and then MBAPPE won Young Player of the Year. So MBAPPE definitely should have won Young Player of the Year, but there was also somebody else in Young Player of the Year, I think POTY last year, who had, like, really good, better stats than MBAPPE, but they kind of won the popularity contest, and I'm not taking that away from them. I'm just kind of saying to you guys this year, with Player of the Year, just keep that in mind if that's kind of how the voting and that's how it all works. So it's very, like, politically, it's hard to explain, but that's kind of how it's like. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the French Association, I don't know what it's exactly called, they released their Young Player of the Year and Player of the Year nominees. So this was for Player of the Year. It's Neymar somehow got in there. He's been hurt for half the year, which I was like, whoa. And then Pepe, MBAPPE, Di Maria, and Ben Arfa. So the thing is, guys, is that Pepe, I thought, was going to win Young Player of the Year, and I thought MBAPPE was going to win Player of the Year. Like, 100%, I thought that was how it was going to go this year, because Pepe's had a landmark year. He's had an insane amount of goal contributions, and then Mbappe's had a crazy year. But I looked at the Young Player of the Year, and I don't know if it's on their Twitter. I couldn't really find it. I don't know what happened, but Pepe's not in the Young Player of the Year. So I was like, wait a second, what's going on, right? Because MBAPPE should be in the Young Player of the Year, or sorry, Pepe should be in Young Player of the Year, and Pepe wasn't in the Young Player of the Year. So I was going through, and I was really confused, because then it was like a puzzle to me of like, then what the hell is going to happen? So for me, I look at it like, I think we did the research. I did the research the other day, and nobody in this league has won Young Player of the Year and Player of the Year. So if that were to happen for MBAPPE this year, that would be the first time it has ever happened to a player in this league to win both the Player of the Year and the Young Player of the Year. Now, MBAPPE's had a great year, but I'm not sure if that's 100% going to happen. So I thought Pepe was a shoo-in for Young Player. So now I feel like Mbappe's 100% got Young Player of the Year. And I don't know if Pepe can win Player of the Year because they didn't win the league. So now I'm wondering if this is like rigged for Neymar to win. Even though Neymar's only played half the season, if this is some kind of like scheme to keep Neymar in the league, I don't know, to keep him not to leave to go to another team. I don't know what it means, man, but it was super weird when I saw this information and I was looking into it. So I'm going to present you guys today with a lot of different kind of options and ways it's going to go with this SBC and, with all the trading. So this is last year's Player of the Year for Ligue 1. I wanted to show it to you guys. So this is Mbappe's last year. And they didn't require his special card. I'm telling you guys right now, and the card crashed a lot. So it's a very nice card, obviously. Super nice card. And then you've got an 85 rated, 85 rated. And then the other ones, you've got a bunch of, like, I think it was some 86s, 87s, and some 85s. So it was all that kind of stuff. And then when we look at Neymar, Neymar's actually didn't. Guys, last year's, I made a ton of money on Neymar because I saw him all dressed up, and I saw it, and it looked like he was going to win. So I bought a bunch of his special cards because they were not inflated. They were 300K. People weren't expecting him to win, and I bought a ton of his special cards. This special card went up to 700K, so it rose a lot in value. People really did the SBC, and it paid off. The risk that I took paid off. It was a little risk. Now, I want to talk about this year, price points, player predictions, who's going to win, who's not. I don't know who's going to win, but I'm going to tell you guys, just want to talk Mbappe and Neymar real quick because anyone else I don't think requires their special card. Now, if we look this year at live SBCs right now, so Van Dijk is valued, EA has him valued about 1.05 mil, and they gave him a card that's better than his Team of the Year, and Sterling as about 1.2 mil. So based off these SBC prices, I will tell you guys right now, if Mbappe wins, I believe he will be probably one worse or the same as the Team of the Year. I don't think they're going to make him better. Van Dijk was a situation that was different because Van Dijk had such a high-rated, special card throughout the year. I think Mbappe will probably be 1.75 to 2.25 mil. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, man. Whatever, Mbappe's going to win one of these awards. So this comes out on May 19th. So whatever award he wins, he's going to get an SBC for it. EA does the SBCs in foot, so he will end up getting a 97, 98 rated card. And what that will mean is that, obviously, I don't think his special cards will be required. He does have a lot of them. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. It very well could. They're not up at all. So if you want to take the risk and just put one in your club, if you want to do this SBC, I have an untradeable team of the year. I'm not doing it. But I wouldn't go balls deep because, guys, they didn't require a special card for Van Dijk. And I'm telling you right now, Van Dijk has like the most specials out of anyone this year. So if they, and player of the month. So if they wanted to do that upgrade scenario, they would have done it and showed us there. So don't get caught up in thinking that that's going to happen. I believe that's like 90%. It always could happen. But EA is kind of telling you that they're not going to do that. The best move for you guys is the stock golds. Probably in like a week or a week and a half from now, kind of like we did with Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year for the Premier League. The best move is for you guys to put those in your club, stock them up, you know what I'm saying? Get the 85 to 89 to 90. It's probably going to be for Mbappe just a ton of high-rated squads, and that's how they're going to be able to do it. I'd say they might get Team of the Week informs in there as well, so you'd have the opportunity where they do some kind of Team of the Week requirement. Like, that could definitely happen, and that would mean that you'd have Team of the Week informs going really high. And then so if Neymar wins, Neymar, I don't know if Neymar's going to win, but it's the same thing. If Neymar and Mbappe win, these golds are going to freaking rocket because I'm telling you right now, Neymar and Mbappe, if they come out as SBCs, are, I'd say, like in FIFA this year, like the two most used players that I see in Weekend League that's meta outside CR7. Those two players are in everybody's teams, like that combination. So I think people will go crazy to do these SBCs. What that means is that if Neymar gets a card, I think his SBC might be like 98. They might make it like 3 mil. I'm just telling you right now. But, guys, obviously their market values are crazy, right? Mbappe and Neymar, Neymar's team of the year on the market, if you look right now, guys, is like 4 million. So you'd see a massive correction with these cards. And that's why I want to tell you guys, just be careful before May 19th if you own either of these cards, just because there's a very, very big chance that if their SBC comes out, even if it's a rating less, if the card value, if the SBC is like a mil or a mil and a half cheaper, people are going to sell this card and go and do the SBC. So Mbappe's a lock, Neymar's not. Now, I'm not sure about Neymar. I think he's going to get in team of the season because he has a deal with EA, even though he hasn't played like half this season. I just think that with his deal with EA, he's going to somehow end up in TOTS. So keep that in mind, guys. I think that's going to happen. Just warning you. You know, that's something to keep in mind, guys. Now, the best move for me to tell you guys is probably just do that club stock and do an inform stock. Last time we didn't do an inform stock, but do a club stock as well. What I wanted to mention is that UCL rares and UCL, like all that stuff is going to come out again this week. EA is going to drop those. So what that means is that you'll have a ton of those blue cards that will come out this week, and you should do a stock with them because this week will be the last opportunity you have to stock those cards before the Champions League final. It'll probably be one of the last supplies. In my opinion, they may supply them, but then once we get started with Team of the Season, I think they'll stop supplying them. So that would be a good idea to do that. And then let's talk about Pepe real quick. I know Pepe's like a weird one because Pepe's had a freaking unreal year. I'm hoping that it's not rigged. I'm hoping that it's not paid off that Neymar wins it because this guy has had a better year. But at the same time, I want a Neymar SBC, right? Who doesn't want a Neymar SBC? That's kind of the reality of it. So if this guy wins, I would say that his SBC will probably be like 400K or 500K, 350, very similar to Sane. Maybe they'll make it like 250 or 300, knowing Team of the Season's coming. If Mbappe comes, it's probably 175 to 225. If Neymar comes, it's probably somewhere between 2 and 3. Last year, Mbappe's SBC was like 700, and Neymar's was 1.3 last year. So for those cards last year, I'm just kind of warning you. Obviously, for the cards we got last year, Neymar was a 97 rated. Very similar to the Team of the Year, and he was 1 mil. So I know that inflation is a big deal this year. I get that the market's a lot higher this year. I know that it's very different in that regard. But you got to keep it in mind, guys, that EA goes crazy, man. When they drop an SBC, it's only smart for them to make it a little bit cheaper because, as you're seeing with Van Dijk, people will do it because people see the price relative to the Team of the Year, and they say, hey, that's good value. I'm going to go ahead and do that SBC. So you should keep that in mind, guys, as we go with SBCs. You should understand that EA likes to make them cheaper because the cheaper they make it, the more coins they take off the market because they're actually getting more people to do it. Rather than a really expensive SBC with only a group of people doing it, you get a lot of people doing it. So realistically, yeah, I think this might be rigged for Neymar, guys. I'm looking at the votes, and I'm like, all right, that's really weird why he got included. And then they don't have Pepe and the Young. So if anything's going to happen in a right way, I would say that Pepe would win the Player of the Year and Mbappe would win the Young Player of the Year, but I just can't really see that. That's the thing. I feel like Mbappe's got to win Player of the Year, so then maybe... Oh, it's a mess, man. I really saw these voting kind of things, and I was so confused. I was like, how are they going to do this year? How is this going to work? But EA does do SBCs for this stuff, guys. So I'm probably going to make a video in a week or two doing just the kind of club stock with you guys, showing you guys what I'm going to stock up on. I wanted to get an initial video out for you guys so we could start to discuss what's going on with this and how this is going to work and how it's going to all unfold. Yeah, it's a super real thing. The SBC will be on May 19th. The SBC will probably be out a week or two before League One Team of the season, so you'll have the opportunity to decide. What I would tell you last year is that Neymar's SBC was actually good value. It was 1.2, 1.3, and what ended up happening was his team of the season was like 2 mil for weeks. Mbappe's was I think Mbappe's was somewhat similar. I think Mbappe's team of the season was like 1 mil. His SBC was like 800, 700. So you guys got to pick and choose what you want. I will tell you that untradables are always like the way to go. I love having untradeable cards, so I've never have a problem with an SBC if like a Neymar or Mbappe. If it is really good value, I'd never really see a problem with it. So if you guys want to go ahead and full send it, you guys can totally go do that. Yo, guys, thanks for watching the video today, man. I wanted to get a video out for you guys talking about this Player of the Year stuff, talking about what it's going to involve. Let me know who you guys think. If you guys watch the league, let me know who you think is going to win Player of the Year or Young Player of the Year in that league. Yeah, boys, thanks for tuning into the video today. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in a video soon. Peace out.